Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Welcome to this session on setting attrition targets in a call center, a critical balancing act between business goals, customer expectations, and workforce realities. In the fast-paced world of customer service, attrition isn't just an HR metric, it directly affects service quality, financial performance, and employee morale. Setting realistic attrition targets ensures that customer satisfaction remains high, operational costs stay under control, and your workforce remains stable and engaged. In this presentation, we'll explore the key factors that guide attrition target setting, from industry benchmarks and customer experience goals to workforce dynamics, employee engagement, and technology adoption. By the end, you'll understand how to align your attrition targets with long-term business sustainability and service excellence. Let's begin by understanding the industry benchmarks and standards that shape attrition expectations in call centers. Globally, most call centers experience annual attrition rates between 30 and 45%. This range reflects the high-pressure nature of the industry, the volume-driven work environment, and the career mobility many employees seek in the early stages of their careers. However, best-in-class call centers set themselves apart by maintaining attrition levels below 20%. They achieve this through strategic workforce planning, robust employee engagement programs, and competitive career progression opportunities that make employees want to stay longer. Attrition rates also vary depending on the type of call center operation. For instance, BPOs and outsourcing centers typically report higher attrition levels of 35 to 50%. This is often due to a workforce dominated by entry-level roles, shorter career tenures, and the ease with which employees can move across different employers for similar roles. On the other hand, in-house or captive centers, where employees are part of the organization's core workforce, tend to maintain lower attrition rates, around 15 to 25%. These centers usually offer better career paths, enhanced job security, and stronger organizational culture, making employees more likely to stay. Understanding these benchmarks is crucial. It helps businesses set realistic, data-driven attrition targets that align with industry norms while aiming for continuous improvement. Now, let's move on to customer experience goals, specifically CSAT and NPS, two of the most important indicators of customer satisfaction and loyalty. When a call center sets higher CSAT or NPS targets, it automatically demands lower attrition levels to maintain service quality. Why? Because consistent customer experiences require experienced and well-trained agents who can deliver accurate resolutions, empathetic interactions, and faster response times. A stable workforce leads to higher first call resolution rates, shorter average handle times, and ultimately, a smoother, more reliable customer journey. This consistency not only improves CSAT scores, which measure customer satisfaction, but also boosts NPS, reflecting customers' willingness to recommend the brand to others. In contrast, high attrition disrupts service continuity. It forces constant hiring and training cycles, leaving customers to interact with less experienced agents, increasing errors, repeat calls, and frustration, all of which hurt loyalty and satisfaction scores. Therefore, to achieve ambitious CSAT and NPS goals, call centers must prioritize retention strategies to keep their workforce engaged, skilled, and motivated, ensuring a positive and consistent customer experience every time. Next, let's focus on service level agreements, or SLAs, and how attrition directly influences compliance with these commitments. Many call centers operate under strict SLA requirements, such as the commonly used 80-20 standard, which means 80% of calls must be answered within 20 seconds. Achieving this consistently requires staffing stability and a highly experienced workforce. When attrition rises, staffing gaps increase, leading to longer queue times, missed SLAs, and potential financial penalties. This is why lower attrition targets become essential in environments where strict SLA compliance is a contractual obligation. On the other hand, in call centers operating under more relaxed SLAs, where a slight delay in response times is acceptable, slightly higher attrition levels might be manageable without severely affecting customer experience or violating agreements. Ultimately, the stricter the SLA, the greater the need for workforce stability, making attrition control a non-negotiable priority for meeting service commitments and protecting both revenue and customer trust. Now, let's look at how workforce size and skill complexity influence attrition targets in a call center. In smaller teams, even a small spike in attrition can have a significant operational impact. With fewer agents to absorb the workload, each resignation creates scheduling gaps, longer wait times, and more pressure on the remaining staff. That's why lower attrition targets become essential for smaller teams to maintain both service quality and employee morale. Similarly, when dealing with high-skill roles, such as technical support or specialized product lines, attrition can be even more disruptive. These agents often require extensive training and deeper product knowledge, so replacing them takes longer and affects service consistency. For both small teams and high-skill roles, minimizing attrition isn't just about keeping headcount stable, it's about protecting critical expertise and ensuring the customer experience doesn't suffer due to staffing volatility. This is why attrition targets must be set lower when team sizes are small or when specialized skills are involved. Next, let's discuss how hiring and training capacity directly impacts the attrition targets a call center can realistically set. When an organization has a strong recruitment pipeline and a robust training infrastructure, it can handle moderate levels of attrition without major service disruptions. This is because new hires can be onboarded quickly, trained effectively, and brought to productivity faster, minimizing the operational impact of employee turnover. On the other hand, if the hiring process is slow or training resources are limited, even a slight rise in attrition can lead to understaffing, longer customer wait times, and higher pressure on existing agents. In such cases, lower attrition targets become essential to maintain service quality and operational stability. In short, the strength of your hiring and training capacity determines how much attrition your call center can tolerate before customer experience and performance metrics start to decline. Now, let's focus on employee engagement and career path opportunities, two of the most powerful drivers of retention in any call center. Centers that invest in career development programs, offer structured growth paths, and implement meaningful engagement initiatives create a work environment where employees feel valued, supported, and motivated to stay. Recognition programs, mentorship opportunities, and transparent promotion criteria all contribute to lower attrition targets because employees see a future within the organization. On the other hand, when call centers lack career progression opportunities or fail to provide employee recognition and engagement activities, attrition often becomes inevitable. Employees disengage, career stagnation sets in, and without cultural or structural changes, higher attrition targets may be unavoidable. Ultimately, a culture of growth, recognition, and engagement not only improves employee satisfaction but also ensures long-term workforce stability and service quality. Next, let's talk about compensation and benefits benchmarking, a critical factor in setting realistic attrition targets. When call centers offer competitive salary structures aligned with industry standards, they not only attract top talent but also reduce voluntary exits. Employees who feel fairly compensated are less likely to explore external opportunities, enabling the organization to set lower attrition targets with confidence. On the other hand, when salaries and benefits fall below market benchmarks, retaining skilled employees becomes challenging. Higher attrition targets may then be unavoidable unless organizations revise their pay structures or introduce additional incentives like performance bonuses, flexible benefits, or wellness programs. In short, competitive compensation packages directly influence workforce stability, while subpar pay scales inevitably push attrition levels higher, impacting both service quality and customer satisfaction. Now, let's examine how economic and regional factors influence attrition risk in call centers. In urban centers, the high availability of jobs across industries creates greater career mobility. Employees have more options, leading to higher attrition rates as they frequently switch employers for better pay, roles, or work-life balance. This makes retention strategies and lower attrition targets far more challenging in metropolitan areas. On the other hand, remote or semi-urban locations often have lower job mobility, which naturally reduces attrition risk. With fewer competing opportunities nearby, employees tend to stay longer, making retention easier and allowing for more stable workforce planning. Therefore, attrition targets must be adjusted based on geographic realities, factoring in both the local labor market conditions and the availability of talent pools. Next, let's look at how automation and AI adoption impact attrition targets in call centers. With AI-powered self-service platforms, chatbots, and predictive workforce forecasting tools, call centers can handle a significant share of customer interactions without relying solely on human agents. These technologies automate routine inquiries, reduce call volumes, and optimize staffing levels with greater accuracy. As a result, the center's operational dependency on manual labor decreases, making it possible to tolerate slightly higher attrition levels without breaching SLAs or compromising customer experience. This doesn't mean employee retention becomes less important, but rather, AI and automation provide a buffer that ensures service levels stay intact even if attrition temporarily rises. Finally, let's talk about the role of historical performance and trend analysis in setting attrition targets. Reviewing the past 12 to 24 months of data across key metrics, like attrition rates, CSAT scores, service level compliance, and average handle time, provides valuable insights into patterns, causes, and performance correlations. Rather than implementing drastic, one-time changes that can disrupt operations and employee morale, this analysis helps organizations set progressive, data-driven attrition reduction targets. This approach ensures stability, sustainability, and continuous improvement, creating a workforce strategy that evolves steadily without compromising service quality or operational efficiency. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.